Hi, guys. Welcome to another live from your host, Rupert Palmer. It's another night of positive vibes with I am underscore Rupert, my channel. Okay, I just want to say welcome to everyone, and we'll go into certain things tonight that I'm sure you'll be happy about. So we're going to wait until a couple more people join the live, then we tell exactly what we're going to be doing according to the topic, as well. So thank you so much, guys. Those of you who are here already. Also, what we want to do is once you get on, you know the thing, all right? You announce yourself, where you're watching from, and so on and so forth. And I always ask these questions: how is my audio? And how is my visual? How is the picture quality? All right, guys, it's hot. This light here is really bearing down on me. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Tonight we are going to be having a very interesting night tonight, and I'm sure you'll be happy that you're here. All right, so let's see how many folks are here right now on this live tonight. All right, please remember to give the live a thumbs up, guys. And share it. Tonight is the night. See, as I said, I'm very hot. These lights is really bearing down on me. So from time to time, I may be wiping my forehead, and probably sometimes take my glasses off and wipe and wipe. So see with me, guys. Okay, we have Doreen here. Hi, Doreen. Welcome to you, Doreen. Thank you so much. We have Hotara Grace and also here with us. Happy to have you. And you know how the thing go. I always ask this question: how is the audio and how is the picture quality? Let me know in the comment section all of these, because I believe that I should be looking good, and you guys should be complaining or have anything to say. Everything should be on par. All right. So let me know what how is the lighting, and if it's too dark or so on, then I could make some adjustments as according to you guys. Like, I'm accountable to you guys, right? So thank you for so much for being here. All right. But Tara said both are great sound and picture quality. Big up to you. Thank you so much. All right. Tonight, guys, as you see the topic, we're going to wait until we have more people on here. We have a special guest tonight who will be joining us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And guys, certainly it's another night. So welcome to you. Welcome to wherever you're watching from. It's my pleasure to have you here tonight. And as always, it's about positivity. It's about the education. It's about the inspiration and the motivation. Welcome once again to my channel, guys. And for those who will, guys, what I notice, I have new subscribers from time to time. So, and there are persons who watch incognito as well. So I want to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself and to all my new viewers and subscribers. My name is Rupert Palmer, and my channel is I am underscore Rupert. All right. So guys, I want you to stay tuned for okay. Okay, I just posted the link. All right, you just posted there. All right, sorry about that. So, guys, we will bring in our guests in studio as soon as we get a lot more people on here. So we have Doreen, we have Grace. Who else we have on here? Who else we have on here? I know some people like to watch incognito. That's all right. You still make the numbers, right? So, guys, I just want to explain the rules of engagement. Tonight is a different night. Yeah, it's a different night. So there's the rules of engagement. I just see the topic, guys. We'll be talking about immigration, and there are so many people at this point in time right now who are living in fear and anxiety and pressure and just don't know what to do. So tonight we are going to clear the air. We're going to give the information. We're going to do what we do best over here, along with my special guest. All right. So here is the rules of engagement, guys. We're going to be have you asking questions. So it'll be more of a question and answer session rather than a comment section. We always be, let me fix up myself, let me sure me look good. All right. Yeah, my color stay right. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a question and answer session, right? Rather other than a comment section. We do appreciate you commenting, but if you comment, make it short and to the point. Yes, the subject matter, right? So you have a lot of questions you want to ask. I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of people on here. So I might not be able to read your questions or get all the questions in. I may have to scroll back and forth to get those questions. And so see with us, see with me. Hopefully one day I have a staff that could go through questions, and hopefully one day, guys, I have the medium whereby you could call in. I'm thinking about that, have a call-in session. And let me apologize, guys. I might sound stuffy or so on. The allergy, the pollen is killing me. I been here down here in Georgia for a number of years, and this is the first year it has affected me to that point where my eyes are running, have teary eyes, big yay water drop down, stuffed up, and my throat, and keep rubbing eyes and all that. So, from time to time, you may see me probably wiping my eyes, as I mentioned earlier. So that's how the thing go, right? That's how the thing goes. So I want to bring my guests in studio as soon as we have a lot more people here. So come on the live, guy. Share the live, and as you come on, please like the live, like up the live, share it, share it. I want you to share this live because it's going to be beneficial to your friends, your families, and your acquaintances, your co-workers who need answers to these questions that is so pressing and overbearing. And that's what we're here for tonight, guys. Positivity, talk about immigration, talk about your rights, talk about everything. I leave that to my guest who will be in studio tonight, live, and and live. And I'm telling you, you just have to share this. Hi, Marie. Marie is here. Big up to you, Marie. Big up to you. Thank you so much, guys. I know Marcia soon drop in, and all the rest of guys will soon drop in. So I'm gonna wait until we have at least 20 people here. Yeah. And I know people are watching incognito, and then we bring our guest in. You're gonna be happy tonight, guys, for the information that we are going to be sharing tonight, which I said is going to be beneficial to family members, friends, loved ones, acquaintances, co-workers, right? So at this point, I want you to take your phone out, or you probably watch it on your phone, Lord, but share it through WhatsApp. We have Elaine here. Hi, welcome, Elaine. Thank you so much for being here. Share it through WhatsApp, share it through Messenger, share it to as many people as you can, because tonight is the night, guys. I'm telling you, tonight is the night. So, okay, the count is going up. So keep it going, guys. Keep it going. So in the next 10 minutes or so, see me tell you, send me a wife sometime, and you hear me, I drop my nose. Man, this allergy, this pollen, man, it is, I'm telling you. Right now, even this left eye, I have to keep rubbing it, so they're all red and all of that. But you never get it the way you want it, That's how it is, guys, and you just have to accept it and live with it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So in a couple, let me say in 5 minutes, I'll bring my guest in. And guys, I want you to ask your questions. As I mentioned, the rules of engagement, live question and answer session, right? Pose your questions, and don't be quiet. All right. Just all right. Actually, I am texting with my guest. She is ready to go. She's ready to go. So, guys, all right. So share it now, and like it up. You know what I'm saying? Share it and like it up. All right. Okay. So who else we have on here? More people are joining. Just come on in and let me. I know persons like to watch in the background incognito. That's all right. That's okay. I love that. So watch this now. I want to come. Watch this now, guys. See? especially this one here. That's what the pollen does, man. Such an allergy. If you're here in Georgia, let me know in the comment section if you're having this problem like me with allergy, eyes, throat, nose, and all of that. Yeah, yeah, for real. So another 5 minutes, I bring my guest in, and I want you guys to share this live, share it. And what I've noticed is that some weeks we have more people because persons work and other things to attend to. But as time goes on, they join in, and I notice, guys, that during coming to the end of the live, that's when a lot of people keep coming on. But tonight I will accommodate you. I normally go for an hour, our 15 minutes, our 20 minutes, our 30 minutes. Yes. We have, I have the allergies here in New Mexico. Wow. See, it's all over. My Lord. Yeah. So tonight, I'll have an exception. Although I went to work today, drove home, was a bit tired. And then tomorrow morning, I have to hit the road again, wake up at 5:30. But for your sake, guys, and for the information for our people, I want to, make an exception. So we may go a lot longer than we have been going for the past couple of weeks. All right. So, okay. I'm going to bring in my guest in a, it is, let me see. It is 8:41. All right. I'm going to bring in my guest in momentarily, and we just kick the ball rolling. All right. So, okay, I'll bring my guest. Let me put the. Hey, Janet is here. Hey, Janet, how are you? Great. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tonight is the night. I'm going to put the link up here so my guests can click on the link, and then I'll bring her in studio, and then we'll hit the road. All right. Okay. Oh, you want to do? I don't see a picture. Okay, here we go. Now my guest is in. Unmute your mic. Oh, here we go. All right. Welcome. You know what? You know what you just did? As I brought you in, the live jumped about 6 people just jump on just like that.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. All right. Welcome, Georgia, the prominent attorney, immigration attorney. Mitzi is here. Welcome to you tonight as you join this live. I really do appreciate you being here. All right. So I would ask you to introduce yourself, and then we go right ahead.
Alrighty, so my name is Georgia Lawrence, and while I'm on your show here, I'm also live on Instagram and TikTok. So if you see me looking this way, I'm not going crazy.
Perfect. Oh, that's right.
All right, and I do ask for forgiveness. I hear you talking about the allergies. If you notice, my eyes are a bit poofy. I am dying.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, it is crazy.
It is bad. I literally have to take a pill like every morning, every evening, and then I use the Flonase in between. It's horrible.
Yeah. You know what I took yesterday? My boss gave it to me, a tablet named Alatec for the stuffy nose. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it helped me. Yeah, it helped me yesterday.
And it's over the counter?
Yeah, over the counter. Yeah, Alatec.
Okay, I'll try that because I've been using Claritin and the Allegra. They help, but not like I still have to be doubling up.
Yeah.
And the Flonase, but with that, what I notice is that it loosens the mucus, so you can't take it all the time.
All the time,
But
right?
I can't even spend 5 minutes outside. It is so bad. I really want some rain where it can calm me down a little bit.
I was sorry for today. Yesterday it was because I was outside most of the time, and it was so terrible, And the first year it affected me like this.
Yeah, it's really bad this year. I think this year has the highest count.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
All right, guys. I want to say welcome to my host, my guest tonight. So she's going to introduce herself, and then we hit the road running. Okay, go ahead now.
Perfect. So, for those of you here on TikTok and Instagram, I am live on I Am Rupert Show, so you can go over there on YouTube. Make sure that you like and subscribe to his channel,
Thank
and
you.
you can listen in there as well. So my
Thank you.
name is Georgia Lawrence. I am an immigration federal employment attorney. Both areas are federal law, so I practice in all 50 states in the United States. I am local in Atlanta, Georgia. I do have an office here in Fayetteville, Georgia. So I tend to meet with clients in person if you're in Georgia. But if you're outside of Georgia, you can still be a client because I serve clients over. I've been doing law for almost 6 years now, and I started out in civil litigation. I did a little bit of defense work, but my passion has always been immigration and civil rights. So in 2020, I opened my own firm, Georgia Lawrence LLC, primarily focusing on immigration. Since the last 2 years, we've added federal employment, which is an area dealing with discrimination against federal employee, where we normally go before the EEOC, MSPB, and also federal court. We do a little bit of mediation work too, but our primary focus is on family-based immigration and removal defense. So I know a lot of you may have questions tonight. So if you're on Instagram or TikTok, drop them in the comments. I'll get back to you. And over here on the I Am Rupert show, I guess I could put it in the chat and you'll see it, right?
Absolutely, yes, I will.
We'll try to go through them. So I have some topics here for you. So hopefully I'll be able to cover everything. If not, I'll leave my information and you can always schedule a meeting for us to talk. And one of the things that I'm doing is that if you want a consultation based on this show, when you're booking your consultation, just put I Am Rupert and you won't pay. All right.
Thank you so much. Georgia, you mentioned that. But before we go into the meat of the matter and all of this, I want my listeners to know who is Georgia Lawrence before she becomes this big immigration attorney. Where you from in Jamaica? How is it?
Well, I always say I'm just that little girl from Kendall. So
Kendall in Manchester, right?
Kendall,
Oh,
Manchester.
wow.
Grew up there, went to Kendall All Age, then the Manchester High School, you know, the best high school in Jamaica.
There.
I left there and I came to the United States, where I went to college, University of South Florida. That's in Tampa, Florida. Left there, did a little bit of work in the department of the juvenile justice system. And then I went to law school and here I am. So, hey, I'm still that little girl from Kendall. So when I'm not busy doing legal work or some form of advocacy in the community, hey, I'm just a little girl from Kendall.
Did you ever thought yourself being a lawyer or?
Yes. It's
Wow.
something that I knew earlier on when I was in, primary or all day school. I've always taken up the role of being, a leader. You want to be the president, the prefect.
Yeah.
That was always me. So
Okay.
I knew the get-go, like I wanted to be somebody where I'm going to be standing up talking for people. So it's always some form of analysis or it's something in the legal realm. I always knew that. What got it for me though was, I believe it was in 7th grade. My uncle got into some legal trouble and there was nobody to bail him out. So what I had to do was, my mom, she had to send me some money because she was abroad. She used to live in the British Virgin Island.
Mm-hmm.
So what she did was she sent me the money and we had to figure out some way. And if I was always that skinny little girl, but I figured it out and I was able to do it. And what I noticed is that after I gave them the money and signed the paper and I went up to the courthouse, if you know Mandeville is right in the center of the park where the taxis normally park, and up the stairs, they call it the 11th step.
11th step.
The way how they deal with these people, even before knowing whether or not they're really guilty, it just didn't sit right with me. And I would just stand in the parking lot and I would watch because the police station was like 3 minutes away across
Across
the
the street,
street.
yeah.
And I'd watch as they would come over in handcuffs and walk up the 11th step. And it triggered something in me. I knew I had to be a part of the system. So even though I'm not an attorney in Jamaica, like I knew wherever I ended up, that's what I was going to do. So I knew from an early age.
Age. Right. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So there we go, guys. She's no hurry up, come up, fly by and attorney. She a big, big attorney. And prominent attorney have a lot of success. That okay. So guys, as I mentioned, the rules of engagement that we're going to be asking your questions tonight, and I'm sure you have family members, friends, and who is not on this chat, but you can share it, and your question you can ask that can be beneficial to those. All right. So okay, so go ahead. Right now we have in a situation where there are a lot of people have this fear since we know the change of government and with immigration and all of that. A lot of
Mhm.
people just been anxiety and fear. So take it away. Help us out on that.
So it is understandable. It is understandable. I have a lot of clients who they call me nonstop. When I say
Mhm.
nonstop, and right now I have to be putting measures in place to ensure I don't go crazy so I could be the best version of myself for people who need me.
Right.
So I do understand the fear, I do understand the anxiety, but what I tell a lot of people you have to understand what the goal of the administration is. It's to drive fear. It's to drive fear. And the more we give into it, they're winning. So I do understand that we have people who are they're in not so good situations. I understand why they're fearful. So to break it down by categories, if you're a US citizen, you don't have to be fearful unless you have some relatives who may be caught up in the system. Because if you're a citizen, say for instance, you're detained at the airport or you're pulled over or anything like that, all you have to do is show your documents. Or even if you're detained, you go through the process and then you show your documents and then you sue them because
Okay.
they're supposed to be doing their job. So that's what I'm telling my US citizens. I do hear on the news and I try to stay away from the news as much as possible because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just not healthy for our mental health right now. Then when it comes to one more thing for the citizens. The only time I think you should worry, if you can think of any sort of fraud or criminal activities that wasn't disclosed in your case and you're afraid that it can be reopened, that's when you're supposed to be fearful as a citizen. And the thing is, only a judge can take away that
Yeah.
privilege from you.
Certainly.
So it's
Okay.
not a case where an officer can detain you and say, oh, you're not a citizen anymore. That's not how it works. You have to go through the due process and be placed before a judge for a judge to make that determination. Now, for my green card holders, yeah, a little bit more vulnerable. Now, we have the categories. We have the 10-year green card holders. If you don't have any sort of open charge, criminal activities over your head, again, any type of fraud, keep renewing your green card. Get your citizenship if you're eligible for it. That's where it's at. If you travel, just have your documentation in place. I'm not saying that officers or this administration is following the rules and they won't try to detain people because I've heard of some crazy stories, but it's a small chance. So whenever my green card holders reach out to me like, hey, I want to travel XYZ time for XY, all I say is make sure you don't spend more than 6 months. Know the country that you're going to and travel with your documents. If you have a 2 years conditional green card now, this is usually based on marriage where you're married for under 2 years and you get a 2 years green card.
Yeah.
If
Mhm.
you have that conditional removal pending, be careful because if a decision is made while you're out of the country, this could prevent you from coming back in the. If it's a case where you have some sort of criminal status, well, let me not say status, but criminal charge or anything, or then My recommendation at this time is don't travel. If you know you're dealing with a problematic spouse, there is a breakdown in the marriage or something of the sort where you're fearful that your spouse may call immigration on you or something like that, then be careful when you're traveling. And sometimes travel with your spouse. It may help. So those are the cases where I think people can understand where the fear is coming from.
Okay.
And then for my people with the travel authorization, so you're still waiting on the green card. My advice at this point, and again, this is not legal advice because I'm sharing information, you're not my clients. And I'd have to evaluate your situation on a case by case basis to make
Yes.
a proper determination as to whether or not you can leave. But my recommendation is if it's an emergency, do your thing. If it's not an emergency and it's just to have spring break or chill out. You see what we're dealing with, stay put right now. That's my recommendation.
Okay.
You know, if you have things like TPS and things of that nature, just be careful. And even when it comes to domestic travels too, because I've heard of instances with ICE officers being at the airport or certain, like in close proximity to certain ports, because they know that's where people come in and out, even when it comes to the bus stations, the train stop. So a lot of this boils down to you being wise. That's
Okay.
what it is really. Samantha, let me know if you're on the live over here. That's what it really.
It boils down to.
So I
Um,
understand why they're fearful though.
just to reiterate here, you mentioned like a green card holder that has any kind of infraction or anything like that. What about, let's say you have a ticket, a ticket, traffic ticket. Is that something that could have caused you some problems?
So in the past, no. Like when you have a traffic ticket, I mean, you go to your court date and you say not guilty or plead no whatever the case may be, or you pay the fine. Now, I tell people be very careful. Any and everything can land you in deportation. I've had two instances last week, people with pending I-130s and minor traffic infractions, and they ended up in detention. So it is a strategic move on the part of the administration to get people deported. So right now, yes, even a traffic ticket can put you in jail.
It's you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So guys, be careful out there while driving. You know, things can happen, and you know, you never know because as you said, anything can create a problem. All right.
Yeah.
I think someone asked a question about if you work in Canada.
So I do US law. So if it's a Canadian looking to get into the US or has a US immigration question, yes. But as far as immigration Canadian law, no.
Okay, got you. All right. You said you've been getting calls left, right, and center. But
Yeah.
before I go there, guys, I want to let our subscribers or viewers know that Miss Lawrence have had great success in immigration. So as I had mentioned times that she's not just one of those attorney, she's big attorney, right? So and I every now and then she would put stuff out there on whether it's YouTube, Instagram, you know, leave information to us. We want you guys to pay attention to that. Also, you got a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, and please subscribe to my YouTube
Right.
channel.
So
I'm gonna do better. We're posting how you need what 1,000 to go live?
no, you can't. You can you need 1,000. I think it's 500 subscribers and 1,000 watch hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
hear that, everybody? Make sure that you go like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can go live on YouTube.
So I'm
Yeah, I
gonna.
just try to put out little information
Yes, which is
on
very
TikTok and
helpful.
Instagram. But yeah, we need to be spreading the information now. You may not need it, but you could have a family friend or a relative who needs it. And you see, the thing is, sometimes I don't know why we're so secretive, and especially Jamaicans. And sometimes people don't really tell you what's going on with them. and they may need the information, just share it. You
Right.
never know who needs to hear from an immigration attorney.
Right. So I'm going to ask one of my moderators to put your YouTube handle up there and your social media handle up there so we can subscribe to your channel for that information that you give, like daily information. I'm telling you, which
Thank
is very, very important. So, all my moderator, Doreen, you soon be up there, right? So, in terms of now comparing to um, somebody said, "Oh, the real things podcast here. Hello, Uncle. It's 50 subscribers to go live. Oh, 50 subscribers.
you. Okay.
50. She says 50 subscribers.
I think I
You
have it.
can
I
go.
didn't even know that. Okay.
All right. And I think that 1,000 watch hours. I think so. All
Oh,
right. So you work in all over the US, right? Let's
yes.
say someone in Jamaica. Do you have you reach that far as well?
Yeah, I do all over. So any of the 50 states and outside the United States, as long as it's related to the US immigration. So a lot of my Jamaican clients, I do consular processing for them. So say for instance, they file for a relative that's outside the US. We hand up bringing that that foreign national into the US. And the same thing for like waivers, like they've been deported or they've gone to the embassy and they're not able to secure that visa to come in and they may need a waiver. We handle those cases too. And humanitarian parole. So say for instance you have some urgent medical needs and you need to come in, but the thing is with this new administration, they're slowly doing away with that. So I don't know. We will. That's a wait and see to see where that is gonna go. But yes, we do
Okay.
handle cases all 50 states and outside the US as well.
Okay. You mentioned that persons with green cards while traveling, they should always have their documents. Does
Uh,
that include your green card and your social security card? Both are
I
just
mean,
green
you
card.
don't really have to travel with your social, but at least have a picture of it. But your green card, yes. There's actually a rule in place for you to walk with your green card. It's just that people don't normally do it. But right now, especially with all that is going on, I would highly recommend that you do so.
Oh, with your green card. All right. Let me see anybody we on the chat having a
And I
question
think,
so far.
let me see if I have any questions over here. So, hey, everyone on TikTok. Oh Lord. What I hate about TikTok is that you have to go through to see all
Yeah.
I can see one. So young Jamaican, if I can still it's with oh yes. So right now, one thing that's on the new administration's agenda is this whole thing about different sex. So yes, on if you notice, even on the forms, they'll change it to male and female. You don't have that option of selecting other. So
Okay.
that is one of the issue that we as immigration attorneys we're dealing with in terms of how people identify themselves. But yes, to your question, you can still file the petition. There is nothing in place as yet to say that you can't, as long as you have a marriage certificate. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see different things come into play. And you can always reach us at info@georgialawrence.com or give us a call 813-900-0845 if you want to talk about your case in more details. Remember not to post your personal information, ask the questions in general, okay? And I
Yeah.
don't see any here over on Instagram. You have any on your end?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
And
Not yet.
if you want, because I have some little pointers here. So if you want, I can go through some of the updates.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go ahead. That's fine.
And then when we get questions, then we can stop. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm not gonna go through everything because it's a lot. Try to keep up, but it's a lot. All right.
Yeah.
So the first thing is the importance of good information. And I want to start out with this. First, shout out to Mr. Rupert here for doing this segment. It is important for people to be getting good and honest information. I see a lot of people, I call them village lawyers, and some of them, they know how to fill out the forms, which if you know how to do it, shout out to you. You can read, right? Good. But what they do is they jam people up in a lot of situations. And it's when they get into those situations, then they want to say, oh, SHIT. When at that point, sometimes not even an attorney can help them. What I've noticed is, and I call these people straight up scammers. You have people out here who are filling out VAWA applications for foreign nationals. So VAWA, you do this, say for instance, you're married to a US citizen or a green card holder, and there is some form of abuse, physical, emotional, financial. It can be any form of abuse. And then you file the application, and from that you can get a work permit and a travel document. And I've seen instances of village attorneys filing these forms for people when they're not even married. So now I have, yes, and when I say taking thousands of dollars from them, thousands. And now I have situation where those people will probably end up in deportation because guess what? It seems as if they committed fraud.
Fraud, yeah.
They really didn't. I had one where the young man didn't even know what was sent in for him. I had to file what is called a FOIA request to get a copy of everything that the government has on him. And yes, I am one of those attorneys. So if you're one of those scammers out there doing it, I am going to encourage those people to file a report against you because you are stealing, and then you're also putting people in predicaments that they wouldn't have been in but for your unfair behavior. So that's one thing. So it's very good that you're putting information out there and bringing people on the show who you know they're going to give good information. So I really appreciate you for that. All right. So one of the things that we're seeing is stricter immigration policies. So your first question about people being fearful, totally understand it because of the stricter policies. And when I say that, I want to cover raids, detentions, and deportations. So yes, ICE raids, they're still going on. And whenever you know about it, alert people. Tell them. You have ICE raids going on. You had a rule in place where when it comes to schools, hospitals, and religious centers, we usually say those are your safe sanctuaries. They're not anymore. You have officers going in schools, asking questions, traumatizing kids. I've heard on the news of people stating that their children are afraid to go to school, or they're afraid that while they're in school, their parents will be taken away from them. So it's still going on. So just be careful. And we're already seeing the impact because a lot of places, like when it comes to the housing industries, you usually have like a lot of Hispanics who work on those buildings. They're not showing up for work. If you notice, when you usually go like what's it called, like the Home Depot,
right.
A lot of people outside asking if you want to paint, drywall, you're not seeing that anymore.
Yeah, notice that. Yeah,
people are scared to come out. So that's one of the things too. We're losing out on workers because people are straight up scared. Then you have quick deportations without hearing, and this is one of the things that's not only affecting regular people mentally, but it's also affecting us as immigration attorney. I've heard of instances where you go to court with your client, you file for asylum, withholding of removal, and convention against torture, and say, for instance, the case is denied. Usually you have that 30 days grace period. Well, that 30-day period for you to file an appeal. That's a law. That's on the books. That's been on the books for years. Because guess what? If it goes to the BIA, which is the Immigration Appeals Board, it can be overturned and be sent back to the local courts for them to look at it. However, a lot of people aren't getting that opportunity. And I'm talking about people with those criminal records. So I know two attorneys who posted they didn't even know what to do, where asylum was denied and they went, because usually you have an elevator that you're going downstairs in. And they reach downstairs in the elevator, and there you have ICE officers. Oh, we have orders to detain your client.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Last week we had two. We had two this last week. So people will ask questions now like, is it safe to go to my ICE check-in? Is it safe to show for my biometrics appointment? Is it safe to go to court? And the truth is, even as an attorney, I can't say yes, it's 100% safe, because if I see them taking you away in handcuff, my fight is on paper and with the help of God. I can't fight. Let me put that out there. I can't fight.
Right.
And I've never been to jail and I have no intention of going. So I'm not going to try to fight. But yes, we fight with papers. So when I say it's giving us so much work. So for instance, on Wednesday, I have an asylum case in New York. And usually it's a case where I'm preparing my clients for direct examination and cross-examination and any questions from the judge. But now, even after, because usually you have to file like your evidence and all that before the hearing. But now it's more than that. I'm not only going to be filing motions and evidentiary packet with the court. I'm also going to be walking with a stay of removal, and probably I'll leave all the information for my assistant to file an appeal if we don't win the case. And the reason for this is we don't know what can happen.
Right.
Even though you're preserving certain things on the record, you don't know. So there is a lot of uncertainty. Unfortunately, due process is not being followed. And you have officers out here, they're operating based on whoever is giving them the order, and they're doing their job. I'm doing my job, they're doing their job. So it's a fight. So I understand. And then one of the other thing that we're seeing is reduced local protection. So usually you have what people call sanctuary cities, places in like San Diego, New York cities. And the truth is, I don't consider anywhere a sanctuary city right now, because what's going on is when you have federal funding being given to organization, communities, cities, if you're not doing as they say, you're not getting that funding. So they have a way of punishing these sanctuary cities.
Okay.
And it's a lot. You don't do this, okay, I'm gonna pull my funding from here, and you need the money. So it's gonna be a choice. Where are you gonna feed the kids in school, or you're gonna protect two immigrants out here? So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Another thing is in involvement of local law enforcement. And we see this a lot. A lot of state police, city police, whatever you call them, they're entering into agreements where they're serving as immigration officials, they're detaining, they're carrying out jobs that they're ICE officers. Some jails are even offering to facilitate detainees, because with the ICE holding facilities, they're getting overcrowded.
Right.
Going to do that, which is sad, but it is something that we're seeing as well.
So you just want to reiterate that green card holders who is clean, you can travel. Because I've heard person with a green card don't want to travel because they figured, so once you'd have no infraction, nothing with the law, nothing going on there, you're clean, it's okay. And that's one thing I want us to bring out here, which you did so clear. You clearly did that to alleviate the fears of green card holders. So you can, if you know you don't have nothing go on with you, you're good. So you know what I mean? But personally, every time walk with your documents.
Walk with your documents and be careful. So I can guarantee that you won't be pulled over. But if you have your green card, and one of the privilege with that green card is that you're able to travel in and out of the country with restriction, of course, on how long you can stay out without them thinking that you're abandoning your residency.
Your residence, right. What about, let me ask this question. Persons who have American passport, and also let's say a Jamaican passport, right? Persons would travel to Jamaica using their Jamaican passport for entry to Jamaica. Then, when coming back, they use their US passport. How does that work in this present time? Is it safe to do so? Because I've heard that persons got their citizens or something get in problem with immigration because of that. How is that? Is that something that's you would recommend or not?
So I do it. Whenever I'm coming into the US, I use my US passport. Going into Jamaica, I use my Jamaican passport. I have had no issues. And I do not have any clients because usually once they travel, I tell them, "Hey, okay, let me know what the climate is like." I don't have any clients with any issues where that is concerned. However, it is something that I'm hearing a lot. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. So to be safe right now with this current climate, I would say, hey, you in and out, use the one passport because I would assume you're not spending any long time in your home country.
Right, right.
So use the one passport. Of course, some of us have no IDs, probably even in the different country. So you need to bring your documents because that's a form of ID. If that's the case, then do it. But like I said, with this administration, everything is so up and down. With policies, rules, it's so hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah, a key point you mentioned there, persons who normally would use the Jamaican passport to enter Jamaica, is that it's okay. I'll go through this line. It's easy. It's fast.
Because
And
that's how we do it.
nobody's gonna restrict me for 2 months. But yeah.
Yeah. I think I used my US passport the last time I went home and they gave me 6 months. I just smiled.
Yeah,
What are you giving 6 months?
yeah. Another thing, I was told that even in on the buses, you mentioned the buses, train stations, right?
Hmm.
You have ICE there. Let's say they stop you and you don't have your document. What process? What you go through to prove? And you say you leave your document home. How does that work?
So yes, that's an unfortunate situation. So that's why I'm telling everybody, make sure you're walking with your documents. Say for instance, you're a green card holder and you're traveling on the bus, you don't have anything to prove that you're a green card holder. With how everything is going, you can be detained. You're gonna have to prove that you're a green card holder. So if you know your A number and they can look you up, or if you have an attorney and they can send over something, you're gonna be released. But it's a possibility you may spend a night in detention.
Night in detention.
Same thing if you're a US citizen. So usually like people with accents, they may ask questions. So walk with your documentation. Now, if you don't have anything, again, my recommendation is you refrain from using those mode of transportation right now, unless I don't know.
Just
That's
Tanayo yard.
yeah, my recommendation. But hey,
Tanayo yard.
and end up in detention. I've seen though where if that's the case, and say for instance you have a pending I-130, the family-based petition, I've gotten clients released with that because you have something pending. But as the weeks go by, they're getting stricter and stricter with that. So hey, stay yard if you have nothing.
Okay. Guys, if you have questions here, please, can raise these questions, so we can get them answered. We have some persons commenting, good program, good program. If they have there, customers said not safe to travel without your passport. One person said that they are working at the airport with TSA.
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay.
because see, TSA, they're supposed to be doing the searching, make sure you don't have any form of contrabands or anything. They're not supposed to be doing the job of ICE officials. But when I tell you everybody's working hand in hand,
And
uh,
right.
there was an incident last week where one of my friend, what was it? So they had an asylum hearing, they didn't win, and the DHS attorney looked at her and said, "Oh, you better be glad the judge gave the ruling so quick, or you would have had an order downstairs for your client to be detained." I'm
Wow.
like, what the heck? Where in hell is this person coming from?
Wow.
Because usually, I mean, your adversary is in the courtroom, but the truth is, when you get out, sometimes you may be having a drink with each other. So it's just the hate that's coming out. So, yes, it's not surprising that you have ICE officers working with TSA.
Yes,
They're
yes.
everywhere. They're everywhere.
Okay. One even said, I hear a lady's U.S. passport got crossed up for using her Jamaican passport to go to Jamaica, and she used her US passport to come back. Said I'm taking chances. And you
Yeah.
know what is happening to, there's so much news out there, so much things out there that it's more narratives based on the fear and everything, which that's why I I don't believe some, but just be careful anyway.
Yeah, whatever you hear, be careful, but
Be
fact
careful.
check.
Yes.
So you should know, like you watch different programs, you see different attorneys. Like go on my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even though I don't have a lot of YouTube videos. And you'll know, like, there's some things I hear in the news that I don't post because I'm not trying to drive more fear than
Here, correct.
already out there. So what I'll do is usually I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And when I get up, my husband argues about it all the time. That's me searching and I'm reading through policies for updates. If it's not something that's a written policy, because the thing is, they get orders from the White House and it comes down.
Oh,
Reputable news source. So I know who to listen to and say, okay, this is not just some rumor going around in the community, it is real. So
real,
more
right.
than likely, if I don't post about it, it's probably out there, but it's nothing for you to worry about. I mean, I don't get to post all the time because we're busier now than we were back then. And you have other attorneys too. So, yes, be careful when you hear something, but not everything is true. And some people, it's like they live for just driving fear in other people. And some people use it as a marketing tool, to be straight up. Attorneys
Okay.
too, and it's dirty and wrong. Where I hear something, they jump on live and they're telling everybody, book a consultation, do this, do that. No, it's
Yeah,
a money
just
making strategy. So you gotta just learn this, use discernment, know who you can trust, you
right,
know,
right.
reach out, like, because some of it is I just try to block it out. It's too much. I just try to block out certain things.
All right. Just being careful, walk with your documents, and just take precautions and don't lay yourself careless
Yeah.
to the whims and fancy of what's happening, because it's serious. It's pretty tough and traumatizing as
Yeah.
it is right now. Yeah, as it is right now, it is. So,
I
guys,
see a
sorry, go
question.
ahead.
No, I see a question over here. And guys, again, don't mind my appearance. You see me squinting my eyes. So I am Cutie. Hey, Miss Cutie. She's saying, do you think you should walk with your paper approval and documents and along with your green card? So if you have a green card, you can walk with your green card. Now, if you have things that are pending, so say for instance, you have your work permit and your green card is pending, walk with the receipt notice to show that you have a 485 green card application that is pending. And then I see another question: how long should it take to get a response to renew a work permit and receive the new card? So it depends on the category that you're in. If it's a family-based case, usually it depends on what's going on in your case. So you might need to book a consultation for us to talk about it some more. But if you are, is for instance, you have a pending asylum or you have status for withholding of removal, you usually get it in 30 days. And if it's outside of that 30 days, you can usually file a outside processing time based on it. They'll usually allow it to go through because you're supposed to get it within 30 days. Um, and then I have a I-130 approved and my I-45 pending based on my case reopened. Do spouse still required to come to interview if you get one? Okay. So they're asking if the spouse is required to attend an interview because the I-130 was already approved. Yes. Usually, if it's your 485, even though the I-130 has already been approved, more than likely they're going to require that your I-130 spouse is there, because sometimes they may need like an updated affidavit of support or documentation to show that the spouse is still making XYZ amount of money and they're still able to do the sponsorship. They could have questions about the marriage too, because even though your I-130 to show the relationship was approved, remember the 485 is to show that you're admissible, but you also would have to prove that your intention of getting into the marriage wasn't for the sake of an immigration benefit. So yes.
Okay. As it asks about the 130I, what's it for a green card holder? What's the processing time frame like, and in contrast to a citizen?
So right now it varies. With the citizen, usually we see it like for the 1 year period. For the green card holder, 1.5 2 years. But when I tell you that visa bulletin is up and down, and when I say visa bulletin, so the Department of State, they normally put out like you could get a certain amount of visa in specific categories. If one category isn't full, then it trickles down to the next visa category. And it's something that we have to check every month. Every month we have to check it. And this is a case where the foreign national relative is outside of the US. If the foreign national relative is inside the US, it's the same processing time. But you do know that if there is any form of unlawful presence, like if they overstay, once you touch that 18-year-old mark and you overstay, you start accruing unlawful presence, you need a waiver. So that's another process, because that's like another 2 to 3 year wait.
Okay, 2 3 years. But with the normal, everything is normal, probably about 2 years, right? Okay, that's it. All right. I big up to all my people in the chat here: Nikisha Prince, Yvonne Cummins, and Jean Carter. Guys, Lawrence have a YouTube channel. We put it there. In one person said he subscribed, but he's not able to comment on your channel, so you gotta probably turn your comments on.
Okay, thank you for letting me know that. Yeah. I will. I appreciate it.
You subscribe.
And you heard that over TikTok and Instagram. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it. Because as I said, guys, she give us some very, very good information and from USCIS and okay, there we go. So my moderator put your channel up there again, and people are subscribing. Right? Share it, guys. Sharon also says she subscribed, so you get a couple of subscribers here.
Thank you.
Guys, and if you know of anyone who needs a proper good attorney, you have one right here. Recommend her, because she has great success rate. She's a federal the thing about it too, most of the people who are here weren't here when you introduce yourself, your what do you call it now, the various things you do. Yeah. Once again, reintroduce yourself so we know that you just one area, you cover a lot of areas. Once again, introduce yourself.
Okay, so Georgia Lawrence. Follow me on all social media platforms. I'm an immigration attorney. I serve clients in all 50 states and outside the United States, primarily focusing on family immigration and defense removal. So about the asylum cases, cancellation of removal, I'm your girl. I also practice federal employment law. So this is an area that's employment, borderline civil rights law, where I defend federal employees against retaliation, discrimination, and harassment in the workplace. So I practice before the Equal Employment Opportunity, the Merit System Protection Board, and in federal courts in the United States. I'm admitted to the Appeals Court in Georgia, the Supreme Court in Georgia, and a few other jurisdictions that I've practiced before I'm also a certified mediator here in the state of Georgia. So if you have like family law or business related issues that you want to settle outside of court, then our office handles those matters as well.
Okay, we have one question here. What if you are a green card holder that got deported without due process?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Some big words on my viewers here. Due process.
Yeah.
We need a consultation. That's a very broad question.
Yes.
But if you're a green card holder and you got deported, this means that you went before a judge and some sort of decision was made, or you accepted what we call voluntary departure. So we definitely need to talk so that I can analyze your situation. If
Absolutely.
you're referring to due process in terms like, say, for instance, there was a criminal case and that case wasn't handled properly, then what you're going to have to do is what we call like a post conviction relief. And you're going to have to get that criminal case reopened and handled first. And then you deal with the second part. If you have a qualifying relative to come back into the United States, then usually how that is handled is that you deal with the criminal part first. And then once you deal with the criminal part, then you can do either of two things. You can file the I-130, which would be based on your qualifying relative. And then once that is approved, you would go to the consulate. Your case is going to get denied because you'd be inadmissible. And at that time, you'd file a waiver and then wait on a decision to come back in. Another option is you file what is called a 212. And with this, basically, you're asking the government permission for you to come back into the country. And this is not something that's where they have to grant it. This is discretionary. So those are usually the approach that we take in a situation where you're already deported. So you can send us an email, info@georgialawrence.com. Give us a call, 813-900-0845, and we can discuss some more. And Samantha, if you're here, you can pin the information in the comments so that they'll have it.
Oh, I was just about to put it up on the screen here.
Okay, it's info at,
Let me see. Info
at
at
Georgia, and that's Georgia, Lawrence, LAWRENCE.com.
Okay, and the phone number?
813-900-0845.
So let me see if I get that again. 813. Okay, 1 second. I don't type very. 813 900
0845.
0845.
Yeah, and you can always text on WhatsApp too, and we'll set up a consultation.
Okay.
No, my Jamaicans like to use WhatsApp.
So I put that's it right there, right?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So guys, there you have it. There's a email address there, and the phone number. You can contact her definitely for a consultation. I'm telling you, she's the best. She is the best, guys. As I mentioned, her success rate is through the roof. You can see her getting. Most of the time, I see when she posts, help this person whether become a citizen, get their green card, get all that kind of stuff. Or in deportation, she get them out.
Yeah, I don't get to post as much as I want to because sometimes we're on the go.
Yeah.
And hopefully this will change sometime with like proper social media management. And I do that too with permission, of course.
Absolutely.
Just so that sometimes let people know that amidst everything that's going on, there's still hope. Like the other day, we had a huge win in New York asylum case. And that case, like I told the client, I said, hey, is it okay to post your picture? And she's like, no, don't post my pictures yet. I want to give you a whole video. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
She did it. And I appreciate her sharing her story and not trying to hide behind her win.
Right.
Because people need to know.
Yeah.
There is still hope. And I know a lot of times, like, asylum cases aren't easy cases to win. And if you ask all clients that I have with pending asylums, I tell them and I break down what it is that they need to prove. Because the thing is, we have, unfortunately, judges are not supposed to be taking any sides, but sometimes I have to wonder where they're coming from. Like the judge that we dealt with in New York has a 96.6% denial rating.
Wow.
Yes. So my case was probably the only case. I'm getting flagged on TikTok for personal information. I guess that's my phone number. I don't know. So probably my case was is gonna be the only case that she approves in 2025. You understand? So I'm telling you, these are the kind of things that we deal with. So we up against the laws that are in place. We're up against the DHS attorneys. And truthfully, sometimes we're up against the judges too. I've had judges just cut me off mid-sentence. Stop. Go there. I don't want to hear this. I already know that. Get to the point. What is it? And it's important for people to build and really get a chance to tell their story.
Right.
And that is why it's important when you have an attorney who understands. And I say this out of all respect because I know people who, if you're not that white guy in your three-piece suit, they don't trust you as an attorney. I've seen it. And not that I have anything against a white guy in three-piece suit, but I'm just saying this, make sure that whoever is handling your case, they have some sort of understanding of what it is that you're dealing with and where you're coming from.
Right.
That's very important because I've been to conferences where I hear attorneys say, they just need to go back home. And I want to look to them and say, listen, you see, when some of us leave home, we have no home to go back to. Like now, I mean, I have a home to go back to now because I'm in a certain position in life right now, thank God.
Yeah.
But back then, like me being in school, nobody could tell me that when you're done, you're going to go back home. Because sometimes you still remember the outside kitchen. You remember the outside back. Like you don't want to go back to that. You're trying to build.
Right.
Coming out of it, and you're trying to help your family to come out of it. So I tell people all the time, don't get it twisted. It's not a case where people just want to uproot their whole life and then come to this country. Yes, sometimes we come here and we love the country and we help to build, but we always have our home. We always have our home. So it's the opportunity and the drive that we have within us where we want to make better for ourselves and we want to make better for our family. So it irks my nerve when I hear people make statements like, oh, you come here, you take my job, you just want to live off the system and things of that nature. It's not true. You want to come here, you want to commit crime. It's not true. Look at the statistics. Those things speak for themselves. It's not true. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. We just gotta keep pushing, be here for hopeful, and continue to share our success story.
Yeah. You know, based on what she said, guys, you know, as a young female attorney and going through all these challenges, but yet winning cases, that's the kind of attorney you want in your corner. Yeah. So tell your friend, you know, somebody who need an attorney, tell it, just share it. The information is there, right? People today are scared. Some people have been robbed and they don't know to trust these days in terms of attorney because they hear stories, they have experiences, so they just stay in their corner. Guys, hope is available. Here is hope. Someone who understands the system, who understands law and how to get things done. You know what I'm saying? So the number is there. Please subscribe to her channel, our YouTube channel. If you have Instagram, can we have your assistant just post the Instagram? I don't know if you post it on my side over here.
Hey, Samantha, go to I am Rupert. I am underscore Rupert
Um,
and just post all the social media handles, please.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
So we
change
have
over.
Ali here, Quincy Pinkston. She said she's going to be sharing this and your information, and guys, she represents not only Jamaicans, every ethnic groups, whether you're Caucasian, Asian, Hispanic, sh- right across the board. Am I right?
Yes, and we do have people to translate if it's French, Spanish. I have a client now from Ethiopia. I don't remember the language. So,
Uh-huh.
sometimes they can't get the proper representation. So I try to help out how I can and get translators on board. And talking about different ethnic groups, I want to cover these real quickly.
Sure.
One of the thing that when I know in the beginning I mentioned stricter enforcement policies. So one of the thing is ending the catch and release. Don't know if you've heard of that term.
Yeah, I heard of it.
So basically, it's like you'd come through, process, you're in detention for a few days, and then you go before a judge and you're released and you have a court date. They're ending that. So now, a lot of times, people have to wait in detention until a decision is made on their cases. So this is for a lot of my people coming to the Mexican border. You and I know why. We're talking about black and brown people.
Mhm.
So they are ending that policy. Another thing is family reunification. We've seen a lot of instances on, I think it's charging. We see a lot of instances on TV where you probably see like a Mexican child and then the mom, and they're trying to figure out, okay, where's this mom? What should I do? They're ending that too. They really don't care anymore. They really don't care anymore. So that's another thing that we're seeing. And then deportations without hearing from some of my Venezuelans. So a new order where they are being detained and deported if they're suspected of any gang affiliation. And if you're following the news, you see where people are coming out. That's my loved one. I see his tattoo. This is what it means. He doesn't have any criminal record. So they're just labeling people. You're from this country. Okay, you're in a gang. You do this, you do
Yeah.
that. Go here. And it's very sad, but we're seeing that every day. And
Wow.
the new thing, which is driving a lot of people up the wall, including myself as an attorney, because we really don't know how to answer this question. And it has to do with the new registration. So starting April 11th, many people will be required to register. And the purpose is to identify and deport undocumented immigrants. So it's, if you notice, a lot of times what this new administration is coming up with is that, oh, you should just give us the information. Self-deport is what they're calling it, and avoid further trouble. So again, what we spoke about initially is
Yeah.
driving that fear into people. And this is why we need hope more than ever.
Okay. I've also heard of incidents. Let's say someone is traveling right on a green card, and you come back to the US, and they ask you to sign a document. What I also hearing that you're not to sign. Could you elaborate on that, please?
So if, I'm assuming what you're talking about is that documents abandon your residence. Is that what?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no, never, no. So when you have your green card, you're not supposed to spend more than 6 months outside the country. If you do, you need to Samantha, he's on YouTube. If you do, you need to apply for what is called a re-entry permit. So the re-entry permit allows you to spend XYZ amount of time outside and come back into the US. What I tell my people who are spending what I call an excessive amount of time, because if you're traveling outside for more than 3 months, I take it you don't have a job, or your money real good, you can just go and chill somewhere, which is cool. I
Right.
can't wait to get on your level. Pray for me. Now, so if that's the case, when you're coming back, ensure that you have documentation to show you have abandoned your residency. So when it comes to your tax return, you're filing taxes in the US, you're paying taxes. If you have a lease, a mortgage, you live in the US. If you have young children going to school, a spouse, you live in the US. No, because if it's a case where you're spending half the time outside the country, you have no job, you're not up to date with your taxes, then yeah, that's screaming, I don't live here. I don't want this green card. So that is when they'll pull you in that room and ask you to sign the paper. Do not sign it. Don't sign it. And you should know by now, if you do not understand the document, don't sign it.
Don't sign it.
Tell them you have an attorney. You want to reach out to your attorney. Don't sign it.
So at that point, they cannot do anything when you refuse to sign. They can, add any more pressure on you. They just have to just stop or when you refuse to sign.
So they can't this TikTok thingy. Hold on one second. It has this thing where you're supposed to like drag a puzzle piece in place to continue watching live. I don't even know. Yeah, it's crazy. It ends after a certain time. Yeah, but yes, don't sign it. They can continue asking questions. If they decide to detain, they have to have a reason for it. But more than likely, the document that you're talking about is that document to abandon your residency.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right, and then people probably already heard this, but the CPB-1 app is no longer available. Under the Biden administration, they were using that so that people could apply for the asylum, wait, get the date come in. You have increased military and border enforcement, and now they're bringing back in place. This was already during the first Trump administration, where they were requiring people to seek asylum in Mexico and the border before coming and waiting before coming in. The information has not been set in stone like this is what we're doing, but I foresee something like this coming again, the Remain in Mexico policy.
Okay.
And the other day we had a lot of people from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. And what was going on with them is that you could apply for the I-13A. So it was like a supporting document to say you as a U.S. citizen person, you're going to support people from these countries with all that was going on. And the sucky thing is that a lot of people didn't get through and they were mad. Some people got through and they came in. And now they're forced to leave the U.S. by the ending of their parole or by April 24th, whichever one comes first, which you can imagine. You're in a country like Haiti with all that's going on. You got this opportunity. And know that, say you came in December. And now you're here. Somebody's going to tell you to leave by April. Excuse me. So what we've been doing is for these people, more than likely they're in a situation where they qualify for asylum. So we do a vetting process, apply for asylum if that's you, and you have your ending date coming up, and you haven't, go ahead, apply for asylum if it's something that you may qualify for. So again, speak with an attorney, get more information about the process, because that may be the only form of protection. Because if you're not married and have some sort of status, and what the policy says is not pending status, they're saying if you already have the status. So there's a gray area there that we're still trying to figure out. And then, parole at the border, that's extremely limited right now with everything that's going on. They halted the refugee policy. And then sadly, temporary protected status. For Haitian, it was set for February 6, 2026. It's going to end August 3rd, 2025.
Wow.
Yeah. And the same thing for Venezuela. For those designated in 2023, it ends April. So in a few days, 2025. And those with the 2021 designation, it ends September 10th, 2025. So it's a lot going on. And then, DACA, that's still up in the air. We still haven't really We still don't know. It's still a challenge.
Mhm.
You have different attorneys, different groups fighting against it, but you just don't know. And let me go over these. You've heard about the, give me a second, the countries on that travel ban list, right?
Yes, yes.
And I had to write them down because I don't know them on top of my head. So you have like, when it comes to the administration, is that they're targeting certain countries. So for full visa suspension, so if you're from these countries, you're not allowed. And this, they'll put a start date to it, but this is a proposal right now. 10 countries, including Afghanistan, area, Syria, Cuba, North Korea, communist countries for the most part. You won't be allowed to come in for any purpose, tourism, business, study. So if you're from one of those countries and you're here studying, my advice is that you don't go home right now. You
They
may
want
not
to
be
come
allowed
back.
to come back in. And that's just what it is. The same thing with, let me go, 1 second, let me try to get back. Yeah, the TikTok ended. I don't even know, but yeah. And for the partial visa suspension, you have countries like Haiti, South Sudan, uh, what's that? Eritrea. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Eritrea is near Ethiopia, I think. Yeah.
That's near Ethiopia.
Yeah, it was, I think it was is Eritrea, I think so, is a part of Ethiopia. Eritrea, I think so. But
Mhm.
yeah.
So they are facing partial suspension. So it's going to affect tourism, student, and other immigrant visa. Of course, you'll have certain exceptions, but that's what we're seeing. And for those countries in probate, you have I think they have 26 countries. Not gonna list them all out in the probationary period. So for these, they gave them like a set of things that this is what we want you to work on. And if they don't see the changes, then hey, they may fall into the partial visa suspension or the full visa suspension class. So I know, was it like a few days ago, Rubio was in Jamaica, and
Right,
he
right.
was asking, and his response. So I haven't watched the full clip, but I know he said something about Jamaica wasn't one of those countries where they were having issues as it regards to overstay. I'm like, who are you trying to lie to? So it's a case where you just don't know when your country will end up on this list. And to me, it's if you're in any form of oppositions, which even as attorneys, for the most part, we have a personality where we don't care. We're fighters. Even if it means fighting on paper like I do. That's what we do. It's in our nature to do it. But they're coming after us too, because there was a memo issued, I believe, 2 weeks ago, where if you have any attorneys who have filed lawsuits against the administration, they're being directed to do investigations.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you have cases where I believe it's been 2 firms so far where they have been investigated. I've heard of attorneys walking and they're saying that, hey, what if my phone gets searched? Of course, we can assert attorney-client privilege, but we still have to be careful, even with posting and certain things that we're saying. Like I tell people all the time, I'm not a politician. I have no desire to be a politician. And for me, it's always going to be policies over politics. So as
Correct.
long as what I believe in and what I stand for is aligned with you as a politician, then I'll support you. But if I see you're pushing nonsensical agenda, I cannot support you. And one thing you're not going to do is shut my mouth from speaking, because I'm going to speak until the day that I die. I'm going to speak. So we're being targeted too, unfortunately. So while you have people out here driving fear, my goal is to just keep driving hope.
Right, right.
I need it too. I'm on a plane sometimes every 3 days. Like for the month of April, so far I have probably like 7 USCIS interviews lined up. Like I said, this week I'm going to be in New York. Next week I'm going to be in Tennessee. I have North Carolina, come back for Atlanta, then I got to be out again. So it's like traveling, you don't know when you're being targeted. So at this point, we just have to keep spreading that message of hope,
Yeah.
do what we got to do to help each other in our community.
One of our the chat said faith over fear.
Yep.
Faith
Yep.
over fear. So many things have changed, and a lot of people are not privy to these changes. So I'm glad you're here to enlighten us, and definitely it just be careful, guys, and
Yeah.
just walk straight and just do the right thing. Yeah,
Yeah. You
because you
just never
never know.
know.
Just never know.
Hmm. And then, so I had the executive orders, but I know we are like almost an hour, 30 minutes. And, sometimes you don't even realize
Time.
when you're talking. But just to summarize real quick, so um, most of the executive orders that are in place, and let me just look at them real quick. So for the most part, um, like you have protecting the U.S. against foreign terrorists and national security. So this is where you talk about border policies and some of the
Right.
things that they're putting in place against securing the border. Same thing. American First Trade Policy, if you hear it. So this is affecting most of the employment sector of immigration when it comes to the E1 treaty trader, E2 treaty investor, E3 specialty occupation, H1B, and you hear President Trump talking about the gold card. We'll see. Um, he's a businessman, though, so I'm not surprised if something like that is
Okay.
actually put into effect. But of course, a lot of times when you hear politicians say certain things, it's not a case where they can just get up tomorrow, write it, and it's done. It has to go through a process. Sometimes
Okay.
it has to go through Congress. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if something like that comes into place. And then you have like protection against invasion, realigning the US refugee admissions. So these are all policies in place to tighten security. And they talk about birthright citizenship, uh, being able to detain, like I know if you heard in the news, a lot of students are being targeted, and there's a war now on First Amendment versus free. So it's just a lot
A lot of stuff.
going on for us to cover in this one segment.
Yeah. You
Um,
just have to come back, and
I will.
come back. Just have to come back. There's a lot of information, and man, and it's like every day something's added to the list.
Yes,
So it
every
keeps
day.
growing, keeps
Every
growing.
day. Tomorrow we'll wake up something else, and I can
Something is
tell you
adding.
for the month of April, because what is it? You usually have that 100 days. This thing what the president did in the first 100 days. So I
Right.
can tell you, the month of April, we're gonna see a lot of things coming up. So just tighten your seatbelt and keep driving.
Yes. Right. I want to say thank you so much, Georgie, for being here. And you have really, really enlightened us. You have really took the fear out on and the anxiety out of our lives for those who want to travel. Once you're good, right? And
Yeah,
make sure you walk with your documents and you're good. Yeah.
yes,
Don't
yes.
do anything that will land you into trouble or an infraction against the law. You drive, make sure you drive in the speed limit, no infraction, nothing. So you got to get
So
pulled
you the
over.
lights on your car. Make
Yeah,
sure that it's straight registration up to date. No swerving, especially don't drink and drive. Most
don't
certainly.
drink and drive.
If you don't have a license, you don't have any business being
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
wheel. And then I want to bring this up real quickly.
Sure, go ahead.
You see that thing at Walmart? That thing called self checkout? I need y'all to stop using it. Go in the line. Join
Man,
the long line. You know why? Let me tell you something. I think I have about 5 clients now where they come and they say, "Oh, I didn't know. It went past the scanner." And they went to jail, petty theft.
What?
And so it's something that I'm seeing. So if it means you gotta go in the line, go in the line. If you're a thief, stay out of stores. Because let me tell you something. Right at one point, something like that, easily forgiven, move past, you get your green card. If you've never heard of the Laken Riley Act, so you have a foreign national, undocumented, who killed a young lady in Georgia. May her
Yeah.
soul rest in peace. And because of that, even though her family specifically said
You don't want
don't want her name to
to
be
be
used for
used.
political gain. That's exactly what happened. So something like not cash in a candy bar in Walmart can land you in deportation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you go into Walmart, right? And you scan something and you never scanned and you walked out with it and they stop you. That's considered shoplifting, right?
Yes.
And you can be deported for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
The act specifically targets petty theft, shoplifting, robbery, any crime against law, any form of law enforcement. So some of the things that we usually get away with, please just don't do it. The same thing with the driving without a license, headlight broken, minor infractions. It can land you in deportation.
what about speed? But let's say you have a speeding ticket years ago, which you went to court and you paid and all that. That will that
No,
affect you?
no, because usually when you have like some sort of laws in place, it's not retroactive. So they have to look at it from the day
The
that
day.
it
Okay.
took effect. So they can't go back. So for my people with any sort of criminal record, it has to do with if you have a pending case or if you're going to open a case. Usually if it's closed, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. So
Mhm.
that's another thing, guys. Not more information. Just be careful, my Lord.
Well,
Just be careful. Somebody asked a question here. I don't understand. What visa will you need for Medicare?
visa for Medicare.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
I
Yeah.
don't want, and so I don't want to share my number again. But info at George, look at the screen, info at
Yeah.
georgialawrence.com. Number
And
is
this.
there, and you can set up a meeting for us to talk some more. I don't
Yeah,
understand your question.
yeah,
All
I
right.
don't understand it either. I think that this person is one of my viewers from out of is in Africa, so he doesn't. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah. Or you can send me a message on WhatsApp and we can talk more about it.
Yeah. Yes. So like your number is on here. It's okay, right?
Yes, that's my
Okay.
business number.
Just
So they
keep it
can
there.
reach out. They call straight, they don't get me, they'll get the receptionist and they'll put them on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're a part of the show and you want a consultation, in the notes section, because it will ask you to give me some info so I can prepare
Yeah.
for the consultation, you can put I am Rupert and you won't have to pay for it.
Okay. And we haven't Samantha haven't shared that information yet. I don't know why.
Oh,
I'm assuming.
I'm not. All right, so let me give it. I can put it in the chat, right?
Yeah.
So it's. I think everywhere I'm attorney. Georgia Lawrence LAW. Can't spell my name tonight. And I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and what is it? TikTok. That's how you spell TikTok.
Or it comes a private, or it's show up in the
Oh,
private.
join the chat. No, I see it. Oh, I
Yeah.
connect to YouTube. I don't want to mess anything up. So if you can put it over there. Oh,
Oh,
no, I'm seeing their comments. So I was on private all this time.
yeah. Yeah. Let me see if
All
I
right.
can.
And so Instagram, I'm gonna shut it down. Thank you very much for joining. If you have questions, Samantha, capture them so I can respond. Of course, you can call me 813-900-0845. You can send us an email at info@georgialawrence.com. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you, and I'll try to jump on here more often. Have a great evening.
Okay, so I put it up there. Let's see. That's it right there, right?
Uh,
That's here. And
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah. So on all platforms, it should be the same thing. Once you put it in, I should come up.
Okay.
Mhm. And I see Jenny Carter saying most African countries are banned. Yeah, because a lot of African nations are speaking up and they're speaking out. Elaine saying Congress have to approve. Yep. A lot of things Congress, it has to go through Congress before
It actually becomes law.
yeah. All right. I know I'm seeing the comments. I
Yeah.
appreciate every one of you for tuning in. And thank you so much for having me, Rupert. You know, I like to talk.
Yeah. You're an attorney, you're a lawyer. That's what you do. We just want to say thank you so much, Georgia, for being here. The wealth of information, very, very, very profound. And we are feeling much better that we become more knowledgeable to what's happening.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank all my viewers and subscribers. Please subscribe to her channel. Check her out. And if you know of anyone who needs her service as an attorney, you know where to go, because there are so many out there. They say they are this, they are that, and they are scamming people. But here you have a real attorney, big, proper attorney, right? Who can handle your case with a great success rate through the roof, I can tell you guys. And not only that, she knows how to pray. She's a praying. I heard her praying for her when all this happened. I heard you, one of the things you prayed for, the fear that people, and you prayed, and that really speaks volume. And I was like really touched by that. So you have somebody who believe in hope, not fear. Somebody who have faith over fear. So guys, check her out, and definitely you will be okay. You'll be happy you do so, right? All right.
Yeah.
Any parting word you want to say before you go?
Just what you said, faith over fear. Let's keep
Amen.
driving with hope. Keep driving with hope.
Amen. Thank you so much, Georgia. It's been a pleasure having you here, and we're gonna do this again.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do this again. All right. So
All
God
right.
bless you. Have a great night. Much more success in your practice
Thank you.
coming your way. And God bless you and your family and your son, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for real. You see. So, guys, reach out to her on our Facebook page, Instagram, and TikTok, and show her some love. And God bless you. She's from Jamaica, from Kendall. Those of you are from Manchester, and you know Kendall, that's where she's from. She has worked her way to this point, and it's all through the grace of God, good family background, and her success in life is, I'm telling you, is guaranteed.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate everyone tonight who have joined this chat and have made it to what it is. We'll be doing more of this on a Saturday night. I said Saturday Night Live, Sunday Night Live with a positive vibe. Yours truly, Rupert Palmer. Thank you for tuning to the I am_Rupert channel. As always, all my viewers and subscribers and moderators, you are the best. And I always say, man, in all our ways, acknowledge him. He shall direct your path. See you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Please like, comment, share, and also subscribe. God bless you.